Throughout this week, we've been trying to develop code to decipher messages that have been written using the Caesar cipher. Yesterday, we finally arrived at this piece of code. It can generally decipher messages using the Caesar cipher. And if you remember, we were sticking to the key, the shift used by Julius Caesar himself, which was allegedly a shift of +3 to encode messages and -3 to decode messages. As a reminder what I mean by a shift to encode messages, Julius Caesar would take every letter in the alphabet and shift it 3 to the right. So for instance, if a letter in a message contained, if a letter in a message was D, if a word contained the letter D, that would be shifted 3 places to the right, 1, 2, 3, to make G. If you were decoding the message, you would go 3 places to the left, a key of -3, 1, 2, 3, and G, the encoded D, would turn back into D. So let's have one more look at this piece of code that we've arrived at. Yesterday I left you with this secret message, etc., looks like gobbledygook. And what you do is you loop through using a for loop. You loop through this message one letter at a time. So for instance, when you start the loop, you're at 0, so you would be using the letter H. You say, okay, in message, in Haschulkefer, etc., what is the character at index 0 in the loop? And it's the letter H, so letter in message becomes H. Then you say, okay, in this alphabet we've constructed, tell me what the index is of H, of letter in message. And you can count along and find the indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we're going to change that index by 3, -3, so 10 becomes 7. We've got some special code to deal with spaces and if then else loop we talked about earlier in the week. So now we're at index 7 and the last step is to find the letter, the character from the alphabet at 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So your H has correctly been turned into an E. And if you loop through all of the letters in the message, you would find that you would shift them all 3 places to the left and create our original secret message, which is experience is the teacher of all things. One thing that we added yesterday was we added an XYZ at the beginning of the alphabet and an ABC at the end of it. And this allowed us, if we were, say, at a letter like X, to shift 3 places to the right without going off the end. And if we were deciphering a letter like A, we could shift 3 places in the other direction without going off the beginning of the alphabet. So that was the logic. That's where we got to. My request for you today is very simple. I've encoded a message using the Caesar cipher. Here it is in the top right, hashed out ODU, XO, BUXUM, etc., etc. But I'm not going to tell you what key I've used to encode it. I'm not going to tell you how much I shifted to the right. Notice that even knowing I've used the Caesar cipher is information you might not have to decode a secret message. This could have been encoded in a different way. But I'll let you know I've used the Caesar cipher. It's what we've been using all week to make the problem a little easier. And all I want you to do is find out, work out, determine what the message is that I've encoded. And I haven't used a shift of 3. So here's my question for today. Break my secret message, etc., which is written in the Caesar cipher. This may seem very straightforward, because by trial and error you should get there. But note, you're going to find some strange occurrences as the keys get larger, for reasons I've already discussed and I won't dwell on more. For instance, some letters may not display at all. Eventually, though, through trial and error using different shifts, you should be able to find the correct key. If you've done that, have fun with it. Well done. Great. But it would be nice to be able to recreate the entire secret message. So when you find that there are these strange occurrences, step back and think, how do I fix that? Troubleshoot the problem. Try and understand why some of the letters are vanishing. And ultimately, I hope today you will have time to try to fix the issue with some of the letters vanishing and ultimately recreate the secret message that I've encoded here using the Caesar cipher. So those are your tasks for today, and I'll be back in about 35 to 40 minutes to show you the answers and to try and understand a bit more how you'll fix this issue of some of the letters vanishing.